Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Volcano's openings. So up here I have the standard opening guide for Volcano. I've also started Volcano in A1. In the next video, we'll be talking about board selection. So you'll know on board A, I prefer A1 with Volcano starting. So regardless of what opening I'm trying to play with Volcano, I always want to start off with G2, turn 1 going top, bottom, and I like playing Rain of Ash. The reason why I want to grab that top energy is just because the extra energy is needed because our cards are going to be very expensive, and we don't want to grab the top earth because this top fire is slightly better, mainly because we want to actually rush towards the far along the bottom track, reaching the 4 plays as soon as we can. Now, because we're G2ing turn 1, we get to place 2 presents in our Volcano land. So now we have a triple stack, and due to our special rule, your powers gain +1 range. So now we have a Rain of Ash that could basically push explorers and towns, and that is going to be at 2 range because we have our Volcano. So we're on board A, that's at 2 range, so now we can hit any land that we need to from our Volcano. And ideally, we would hope it would be like a Sands starting, because we could use Rain of Ash to solve my A7, and then next turn we can Erupt to clear out my A4. Looking at my turn 2, I'm going to G3, placing a presence in the Volcano land. So we'd place that presence. Now we have 4 presents. We would then gain 2 energy, gain a power card, and gain +1 play. Now, the cards that we're playing here, it's going to vary mainly based on what you draft in that minor card. I usually like to play Exaltation so that you can support the team. You would take 2 energy because you have 3 fire, and then you'd give 1 energy out to a teammate. And then I have Lava Flows for the slow, where I can add a Badlands Wilds so that I can better combo for my Eruption the following turn. I do have the 3 fire and the 3 earth, so if I'd like, I could use that left innate this turn, allowing myself to destroy a couple presents in my land, doing a small eruption, because we know, because we have the 3 earth from our 2 cards and the card and the element on bottom track, because we have the 3 earth, we get that right innate, so we get to bring back one of those destroyed presents that we destroyed, so we get a lot of value like that. Now, you do have a choice if you decide to go with this opening of Molten Stone and Lava Flows. You have that choice with the right innate where it says if you have 3 fire, you may pay 2 energy to gain a power card. So this opening here is assuming that I take the 2 energy from Molten Stone and we gain a power card. So basically, our hand would look like Bombardment, Minor Power, I'll have 2 energy in the bank, plus I'll have this power card, or I'll have 2 energy. And that just, it's dependent on if you want to utilize that right innate to gain more power cards or not. I usually do, but that it just depends on your overall strategy. Now, there are some games where you might want to play Bombardment on this turn instead of Lava Flows or instead of Molten Stone. Once again, it's just going to be dependent on the adversary, the explorers, and what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe if I'm playing against, let's say it's Scotland, right? And Scotland would look like this. Explore, build, I guess I'd build like this, and then let's say the next explore would be jungle. So it looks like this. I have Rain of Ash turn 1. Likely I would actually stop the city build here, push that into the wetland, and then I would cross my fingers and hopefully draft a defend for this land, or I'll just let it trade. Alternatively, I could stop this build and then hopefully draft a defend or let this blight. But and that just it really depends on what the problem land is. Maybe if this wetland comes up, now all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, I won't play Bombardment next turn, or on turn 2, I'll play Lava Flows, trying to set up this wetland earlier, or to set up more Badlands so that we can kill it when it ravages. Or maybe it came up turn 1, and maybe we need to not play Rain of Ash this turn, and we need to prep for a Pyro Bombardment earlier. So the cards that you're playing in the early turns could vary slightly, but this is, like I said, my standard opening. I like Rain of Ash turn 1, followed by Molten Stone and Lava Flows on turn 2. So turn 3, I G3 again. Placing a presence from bottom track, we've now uncovered the 2 plays, and we have the +1 play from our growth option, and we'll play Bombardment plus 2 miners, and because we paid 2 energy last turn for a miner, we'll actually have a third, we'll actually have a third miner power that's up here. So we have 3 drafts here. Now, one of these cards could be a major if you so decide. Hopefully one of them has Earth so that you'll be able to restore a presence with this right innate here. Hopefully one has Fire so you can also gain another power card. You'll have 4 energy in the bank. Now, turn 4 is when we do a reclaim, and as you can see, this is just absurd how many cards we've drafted. But on reclaim, we're going to have 7 energy. We'll have 2 card plays, and we'll have 3 miners from our previous 2 turns. And this is where I like to grab a major, because, I mean, you have 7 energy, and you've already drafted 3 miners, so why not? I gain a major. The card I forget is Rain of Ash. Don't ask me why. I find this card to be the weakest out of your starting cards. Lava Flows is just great because adds more Badlands Wild. It's cheap. Molten Stone is a support card, and then you usually need Bombardment to combine with your innates to clear out lands. So Rain of Ash is usually the card on the out. Now, you could have drafted a really bad miner that you want to get rid of instead, but usually, like I said, Rain of Ash. And you get 2 card plays here. Ideally, you want to be playing 2 Earth so you can restore another destroyed presence, but it will just depend. Worst case, you just run back your turn 2, replay Molten Stone and Lava Flows. And then turn 5, this is where you really get an interesting choice. I really like the G3 still. The G3 plan, just G3, G3. Now, you could also choose to G2 if you need more presence. Maybe the Blight card flipped because someone's blighting a lot. It really depends, but for the purpose of this opening, I'm going to assume just G3ing here. And you'll have 3 card plays, so 2 plus 1, so 3 card plays here. I'm not sure how much energy you're going to have because that's going to be dependent on what cards you play here. And you're gaining another power card. I'm assuming another major. Not sure, though. You can also gain minor. It just depends on what your first major is. So this is basically these turns here. 3, 4, and 5 is why I really like Volcano, because you have plenty of drafts and plenty of choices in these turns on what to do. As I stated in my very first video, you can see I've decided to play along complete bottom track here after grabbing that top energy. Once again, you need that top energy to help afford your cards. Now, this is the only opening I'm going to talk about with Volcano. I know there are some like very greedy builds where you move towards the 6 presence eruption. I don't like rushing this just because it usually blights a lot, and I don't think it's optimal. I think it's just weaker than the build up here. If enough players want to see that build, then I will put together a bonus video once these videos are out and people have time to comment. But really, rushing this, just not really a plan. I wouldn't do it from a most optimal position. It's definitely very fun and thematic to utilize the 6 eruption, but I find myself falling behind on my own board when I do it. Now, there are exceptions. If I'm playing solo, then you can actually make it work just because the board blights a bunch. But if you're Volcano centralized, an eruption like the 6 eruption here would basically wipe out the whole board, and you don't have to worry about those adjacencies, adjacent boards, and so forth, and the game would just be over. But like I said, multiplayer, that isn't the case. If you like this video, like, subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next video.